Friends, there are some stories that melt our heart, and today we brought you such a wonderful story in which a man keeps helping everyone all the time in this selfish world. To know why he does this and what his motive behind it, watch this video completely and experience a very sweet and emotional story. But before that, if you are not subscribed to our channel, then do it quickly. In the beginning of this story, we see a man named Ben who is calling the police. In fact, Ben always considers himself guilty of a crime. In the past, he had taken some decisions which he regrets today. Here, Ben calls the police and reports his suicide. And with this, the story goes into flashback. Ben calls a meat delivery company for his order. There, his call was received by their sales representative, Ezra Turner, who is blind. Ben gets very angry while talking, and in anger, he tells Ezra wrong things, but Ezra listens to all the words of Ben silently and does not turn back to anyone. He does not anger on him, but instead says thanks and cuts the call. After the call cut, Ben feels very regretful and starts crying because he has taken out all his frustration on someone else who has nothing to do with it. In fact, Ben is an IRS agent, meaning his job is to collect debts from people. Ben is searching for something about a girl named Emily in his company's computer data. Here we come to know that Emily's financial condition is not good. He calls Emily from office. After finding out the address of her house, he goes to her house. But there he comes to know that Emily is now in the hospital, so he goes to the hospital. Inside the hospital, he sees Emily in the lift, so he starts following her. And here he comes to know that Emily has a rare heart disease, due to which she has to undergo a heart transplant. But because Emily's blood group is rare, she is not able to find any donor. Well, now Ben starts remembering things from his old times. He used to be very happy, but then his dream got shattered due to a call. On the call, it was Ben's brother who asked him if he had taken some things from her. Ben directly answers him in the negative. The next day, Ben goes to old age home, where the administrator is Stephen Goodman. There Ben sees Stephen trying to convince an old woman to take medication, but when he sees Ben, he calls him into his office to talk. Actually, Stephen had taken some debt from the IRS, which he was delaying repaying, so Ben came to talk to him about that debt. Upon hearing about the debt, Stephen tells Ben about his bad condition and how he is going to have a bone marrow transplant, for which he needs a lot of money, and that's why he can't give it to him right now. But Ben doesn't believe whatever Stephen says because he sees BMW in the parking lot. Ben then goes straight to his childhood friend, Dan Morris. Dan assures Ben that when the time comes, he will definitely help him with his plan. Now Ben goes to the hospital where Emily was admitted. Here, as soon as Emily sees Ben, she becomes suspicious of him. That's why she comes to Ben and tells him not to follow her. But Ben shows his card to Emily, which leads Emily to believe that he is an IRS agent. Emily had also taken a loan from the IRS, so Ben told her that he had come to talk about the loan. Emily says that she has just been discharged from the hospital, so now she does not have enough money to pay her loan. Ben does not insist her and tells her there is no problem and leaves. Going into the room, he sees a newspaper in which there is news of the death of 7 people in an accident. And here we come to know that among those 7 people, one is from Ben's family. Well, the next day, Ben goes to Emily's house where Emily doesn't talk to him nicely because Ben came to talk to her about her debt. But Ben starts following her, after which Emily invites him into her house. Ben tells Emily about her debt and he gives her 6 months to repay. Emily is happy to hear this because 6 months was unexpected for her. Ben gives his card and leaves from there. After this, Ben goes to his home and there, along with his jellyfish, he gets all other things shifted to the hotel room, where his friend Dan comes to meet him and gives him a form, which was a kidney donation form. Actually, Ben wanted to donate his kidney, so he asks his friend to fill out this form so that the paperwork for kidney donation could be completed. He signs the form, seeing which his friend Dan gets a little emotional and tells Ben that what you are doing is a very brave thing. Well, now in the next scene, Ben goes and meets a woman, Holly, who used to work in child and family services. Ben tells her about his desire to help someone, and Holly tells her about a woman named Connie. In fact, Connie's husband used to beat her a lot, but Connie was afraid to complain about her husband to the police. Hearing this, Ben goes to Connie's house to help her. Apart from her husband, she also had 2 children at Connie's house. Ben goes to Connie's house and shows his ID. He offers to help her, but Connie gets angry after hearing this and asks Ben to leave her house. Ben leaves from there but gives his card while leaving. After this, Ben meets a hockey coach. Ben goes to meet the hockey coach whom he had seen in the match. While going to meet him, Ben gets a call from his brother who is very angry at him. Ben cuts off the call, asking him to call him next week. Now Ben goes to meet that hockey coach. He reaches out to the coach, and here we come to know that one of coach's kidney is damaged, and it is Ben who is going to donate his kidney to him. He was thankful to coach, but he could not understand why Ben was doing all this for him. Ben says that he wants to help good people, and according to him, the coach is good person. Now Ben goes to the blind sales representative detective with whom he spoke very rudely on the call and starts watching him secretly. And he is convinced that he is a good man. Well, the same night, Emily calls Ben and tells him that she fainted on the way while walking her dog in the morning, and now she is admitted to the hospital. Hearing this, Ben goes to the hospital, and on the way, he starts telling Emily a story so that Emily feels better. Emily falls asleep while listening to the story. When she opens her eyes in the morning, she finds Ben near her bed. Actually, Ben was there the whole night, so Emily thanks her for this, and then the doctor comes and tells Emily about her health condition. She says that Emily is very bad and now she has a maximum of 6 weeks to go. She gives Emily a pager and she says that if the pager beeps, this means that a donor has been found for the heart transplant. After this, Ben returns from the hospital with Emily's dog. He gets a call from someone at home. She tells Ben on the call that her husband beat her again and now she doesn't want to keep quiet. Ben goes to meet her and to help her, and he gives her a paper and tells her to go to a place with her children. After listening to Ben, Connie goes to that place. When Connie looks at the paper given by Ben, she realizes that she just has to sign that paper, and after that this beach house, which was Ben's, is her now. After reading this, Connie starts crying. Tear of joy comes out and she signs the paper, while Ben has also become very close to Emily by now. One day he takes Emily for a walk with her dog. Now during conversation, Emily asks Ben about his past life and whether he loves anyone. But on hearing this, Ben suddenly gets angry and he starts talking angrily and rudely to Emily. Well, after this, when Ben realizes this, he starts feeling ashamed of his actions, and as an apology, he starts cleaning Emily's garden. Seeing this, Emily forgives him and invites him to her house. Emily was a printer by profession who used to print marriage cards. She takes Ben to visit her studio where all the machines have broken down. One of these was Emily's favorite machine, which had completely broken down. Emily tells Ben about her dreams, but she knows she doesn't have much time left. Ben understands Emily's feelings, sneaks in at night to fix the printer and leaves. As usual, Ben goes to the hospital to see if anyone needs help. There, he sees a sick child who needs bone marrow, so he donates his own bone marrow to him. Now when Ben was in that hotel room, then Emily calls him and invites him for dinner, and Ben gets ready on time and reaches her house. They both enjoy the night together and eat the food that Emily had prepared herself. They also dance. After this, Ben takes Emily to her own studio where Emily sees that her machines are now repaired, which makes her very happy. And here they both kiss each other. Then Ben remembers that he had brought a gift for Emily, which he left in his car. He goes to the car to get the gift, but there he meets his brother, who was very angry at Ben. And here we find out that the real name of the person we thought till now was Ben is Tim, and his brother's name is Ben. Tim was not an agent, but his brother Ben was an agent. And until Tim was using Ben's name and calling himself an IRS agent, Tim, seeing his brother, promised to tell him everything. And now he asks for some time from him. Saying this, he goes to Emily and expresses his love. And here both of them start getting intimate. Ben, means Tim, has now started loving Emily more than himself. Now he wanted to save her at any cost. He first goes and meets Emily's doctor and asks her if he can get a heart donor right now. The doctor clearly tells him that the chances are very low. Hearing this, Tim calls Dan and tells him to follow the plan, which makes Dan cry. Tim calls Ezra back and asks sorry for what he said earlier and says he left a gift for him. Saying this, he fills his bathtub with ice and calls the police and complains about suicide. It is said that before that, the whole life of a person starts flashing back. Now Tim starts remembering about that night due to which he broke from inside. And now we know that one night when he was going with Sarah, who was his fiancée, in the car, while driving the car he started replying to someone's message. And due to his carelessness, his car gets into an accident with another car, in which 6 people from the other car and Sarah in the Tim car die. And till today, he is holding himself responsible for that accident and the deaths of those 7 innocent people. He has been believing himself to be the reason for this, and that is why since that day, he keeps roaming around people to help so that he can atone for his sin. And today, finally the day has come when he is going to completely get rid of his sin. Now Tim puts his jellyfish in the bathtub, after which Tim dies due to the sting of that jellyfish. He had already filled the tub with ice so that no harm is caused to any of his organs. Here on Emily's pager, there is a beep which lets her know that she has found a donor. Now Emily gets a heart transplant, but she did not know that this heart belonged to the man with whom she had now fallen in love. Tim's friend Dan and his brother both are very sad. Tim wanted to atone for his sin by helping 7 people, and he left a letter for each people he helps. Ben meets Emily and tells all the truth about Ben and also says that Tim donated his first organ to Ben. Emily became very sad to know all this truth and starts crying. A few days later, Emily goes to a concert where someone was playing piano. It was none other than Ezra himself. He was now able to see the world through Tim's eyes and had now become a high school teacher. Emily goes and meets him and she starts crying after seeing him. She sees Tim's eyes in Ezra. She was able to recognize him, look into his eyes, and face the Tim for the last time. Seeing this, Ezra understands everything and he gives Emily a hug so that her pain can be reduced a little. Tim gave life to many people by giving his life. As I said, it is probably very difficult to do this in reality, and this is the end of this wonderful story.